Good morning, everybody. Monday morning after Billy Napier's opening press conference on Sunday. Hope you all doing good out there. Hope you all doing well. Running on some fumes right now. A lot of you know probably. I probably saw it this morning, but cut Gators Breakdown pretty late yesterday. Early this morning, I guess. Getting back from Gainesville, getting the show together. Family time before daughter goes to bed, so all that good stuff there. But had to get something out there. Exciting day for Gator Nation. Billy Napier finally arrives in Gainesville. But we'll discuss the opening press conference. You guys can give me your thoughts. What you liked that you heard from the new head coach at Florida. Should be getting a whole ton of news in the coming days about staff being retained, staff not being retained, recruiting, all that stuff. It's pretty much come out now that no offensive staff member will be retained from the last staff. So, no surprise. Billy Napier's an offensive background head coach. And if he feels like he needs to clean house on that side of the ball, he's going to do so. And complete it with his own staff. So, no retaining Tim Brewster, Billy Gonzalez, Greg Knox, Garrett McGee. All those guys are gone. Now, I would assume we hear from the rest of the staff today on this Monday. So, as I've said before, plenty of times, I wouldn't expect anybody but maybe Christian Robinson, maybe outside slim chance Wesley McGriff as well. But, we'll see where that goes. As we already heard, Patrick Toney on the defensive side coming over from Louisiana with Billy Napier in at least a co-defensive coordinator role is what's being reported there by Football Scoop. But he's a name that when the hire was announced, that was a name that was likely going to come with Billy Napier. So maybe we'll get some scoop around who some of the other staff members that he's going to bring, and where that goes from there. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes from here. And Vernell Brown announced this morning that he would be returning, and his relationship with the players that will make probably this transition a little bit easier there as far as we go. So that's going to be the news. We'll see where recruiting goes as well. He'll be starting to hit the road. I think he's going to finish up his meetings this morning with the staff, Billy Napier, and then hit the road recruiting. I am hearing from somebody else, not a direct connection, not from the mouth himself, but Kewan Ratliff should be good as well. I'm going to try and confirm that, but I'll at least let you guys know how that one's trending from what I'm hearing now. Heard that this morning, so we'll see where that goes. I think that's one I'd like to, as far as on the recruiting staff. I know we can criticize the last staff for recruiting, but there were some good people behind the scenes that I think were just held back. Well, I know we're held back, and hopefully in their interview process can sell themselves to still be part of this new staff and hit the road recruiting. But Kewan Ratliff is one I'm hearing should, and I'll say should till I get some more confirmation on that, should be good. All right, let's Stone Cold in here. What's up, Stone Cold? Nope. Nope, you there, man?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yep, got you.
All right, so C-Rob being retained to me is a little spooky, just because how our linebackers look. But I know people gonna say, "Well, Grantham held him back." That's what I've been constantly hearing. Whole offensive staff being gone isn't a surprise.
Nope.
Brew maybe just a slight chance of being held back. That's what we were possibly thinking, but that doesn't bother me. I'm kind of up in the air with the Tony hire, just because, again, we know the whole trauma situation with bringing over DCs and stuff like that. But if it's a co-DC role with a bigger name, I'm fine with that. I'm really just interested to see where the staff hires are. Because do you feel like if you letting all these people go, do you feel like it got to be some staff hires already made?
Yeah, I mean, but he's also going to want to bring his own people as well, as far as whether they be connected at Louisiana or not. I mean, he's going to bring some guys from Louisiana. I mean, we should expect that. If that's I tweeted that yesterday. Part of his success so far has been guys he's had with him. And when you have, especially somebody like Tony, who is young, I've seen the criticism of, well, if he was so good, he'd be at a bigger school. He's young. Somebody's going to have to give him his first big job eventually. That's how these things work. With the connection there from Billy Napier, of course, I think he's going to bring some guys that he trusts, especially on the other side of the ball, with him. And so we'll see if it's a co-DC role or DC role or a full-time defensive coordinator role. We'll see where that goes from there. I still tend to think it's a co-DC role, and maybe in the next day or so we'll hear some more about who could be the other co-DC and what positions they'll be featured in. As I said on the podcast last night, you had Tony as outside linebackers and safeties coach as well at Louisiana, as well as the defensive coordinator role. So he's been on both back levels of the defense as a featuring the importance of those two position groups for him. So I still think I'm guessing here. I'll say maybe somewhat of an educated guess. I think the plan would be for co-DC. Hopefully he's not going out there and missing on some of his targets for DC or co-DC roles out there. Nothing's really been officially announced. That's just what Football Scoop's reporting that it will be a co-DC role for Tony. But look, he's going to bring his guys from Louisiana. It's really not that big of a deal to me. Now, I don't think you don't want to be bringing the whole staff, but some of those people are why Billy Napier is where he's at, and he's getting lauded for his success at Louisiana. Some of those assistants are the reason for it. I mean, Tony's thought to be a young up and comer in the profession, and I think he was up for if the report is true, I think he was up for a Texas Tech DC job. I think that was it. So we'll see where it goes from there. But learned under the defensive coordinator at Baylor as well. So a little bit of a background there, but we'll get a lot more. We'll get a lot more in the next couple of days of where the staff. I don't expect the full staff to be in place the next couple of days or so. I think there might be some guys in the NFL too that want to get looks, or Billy Napier will talk to before he completes the staff. I'll have to wait for the NFL season to get over with to see if those guys will be a part of this staff. But I don't expect the full staff to be in place in the next couple of days or so. Large enough staff to hit the road recruiting.
Also, I seen a lot of people triggered by that statement made yesterday when Napier was talking about recruiting, and he said, "We gonna focus on evaluations." I know that triggered some people to be like, "Wait, we going through this again?" But
No,
I mean,
what do you expect him to stay in that setting?
exactly. I feel like
No coach is gonna admit stars.
exactly.
You just don't.
And you're not gonna say, because if you say all we focus is on 4 and 5 stars, you're gonna turn away a lot of guys. And those 3 stars do fill up. They do fill rosters, and some of them are under evaluated. Some of them are pretty decent, but you can't just focus on 4 and 5 stars because you're gonna miss a lot of talent just doing it. So I get it, what he was saying, but I know a lot of people gonna run with that because of, again, going through Mullen era and evaluations was what he focused on.
Yeah, I mean, and I said this on the podcast last night. Look, those evaluations from the recruiting services match up pretty well. I mean, there's the 4s and 5 stars. It happens to be that way. Recruiting services know who the good players are. The coaches know who the good players are. Now, are there some coaches out there who may be looking at the recruiting services out there? Possibly, but I mean, they're not sit there, going up and down a website looking for 5 stars and 4 stars too much. That's not. They really do. There is an evaluation process to this. There is a fit inside of what you want to do. There is a culture fit as well. Most of it's about going out there and getting good players. There's still a fit. But there's enough. There's enough of those 4-star, 5 stars out there. As Billy Napier said that too yesterday. There's enough of those players out there to go and get and make a difference. But yeah, Noop, I know. Yeah, I knew as soon as he said it, it'd be taken way out of context and taken to a whole nother level.
And then, have the reports came out about Savage not being returned?
I don't know if the reports have come out, but yeah, that's not happening either. So
I would say, yeah. A lot of people, I wouldn't be too worried about. I think what's his name, Oak Hawk, something coming in. He's got a pretty extensive background. He done worked at some pretty big places. So I'm not too worried about the strength and conditioning. I believe he was during Alabama's era. He was at Bama for like 3 or 4 years. So that's not something I'm worried about. I'm okay with Savage not being retained if that's the situation. Besides that, like I said, I'm just pretty much interested to see where these staff hires go, because when you do that, when you look at that $7.5 million, I'm like, hey, you got to get some top names now. Like, we got to be elite staff. Yeah. Because you on par with Ohio State, you on par with Clemson, you on par with Bama. And when you say 7.5 million, I'm like, okay, we can get the best of the best. We not being held back again. And then you got an additional $5 million for analysts and just support staff. So that's a lot of money being tossed around. And I can say UF hasn't ever done this before. I don't remember a time like where UF gave anybody this many resources. Because it's been years where we've been lacking staff. And I'm going to tell you the truth, as a Gators fan, I'm tired of lying about staff hires. I'm tired of spinning. I'm tired of having to spin certain hires. At this point, I just want the best of the best. And I want people to actually come here and be like, hey, we trying to get your assistant coach.
Yeah, they had that pool there. I tweeted it last night. It is up there as far as direct competition. It is up there with Alabama. It is up there with Georgia as far as staff money goes. So, as you said, go out there and get the best of the best. All right. Stone Cold, you in here? Yeah. Okay. Guess not. What's up, Pharaoh?
Good morning. Good morning.
What up, man? How are you?
Hey, man, he here. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, man. Hey, I just wanted to say, man, I'm excited, man. I gotta catch up on the opening press conference. He gonna do a press conference today as well, or they just
no. That'll be it. Probably too early Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta check it out, man. Yeah, I'm behind him. I heard my guy the Newt was talking about the evaluation. Yeah, man. Hey. That's what I like to hear, man. Like you say, you want to hear him evaluating. You don't want him just picking up anybody. So, yeah, I'm ready to get rolling now, man. Did he I saw something that got tweeted where they said that he told Bogle, man, I need to have a talk with you. That's true.
Yeah, somebody at the. I didn't hear that myself. I did see that shared around on social media. I'm sure it came from one of the sites out there. I was so busy worried about what I was doing yesterday to kind of follow up with some of the reports and everything that was going on out there. But I did see that one shared out there that when he met with the team, that he met he saw Chris Bogle and said that he wanted to talk to him one on one. So I brought that up. I know there was the rumors out there that Bogle was very close to committing to Kentucky, and then also was going to visit Michigan State. So I don't know the status of that, but he was, according to that, post that was shared. I don't know if it was a report. I don't know if it was a post from some message board out there, but it was out there that during the team meeting, as he was meeting everybody, he said he wanted to talk to Chris Bogle. And look, and I brought that up last week. Just because you're in the transfer portal does not necessarily mean you will ultimately leave. So a decision, an ultimate decision, still has to be made to actually leave. But by putting your name in there, it is the right way of other schools being able to contact you. So that's the process of that right now. As I say, Kentucky, Michigan State are the two schools. Some people were saying that Bogle to Kentucky was already pretty much done. But I think you kind of have to, pump the brakes a little bit, see what Billy Napier and this new staff can bring to the table, and maybe they can stay you on staying.
Yeah, because it's like with Cox staying, I'm pretty sure some people kind of got the same stance as me. Like, dude, you ain't too far behind Cox. If not, when you come in, you kind of a little more consistent. Kind of, I don't know, like this new staff, you may be able to beat out Cox. So,
I mean, yes, it should be a fresh start for everybody. So that's how I would take it. But I can understand this frustration. I thought I guess Cox wouldn't be here next year and he would be the guy. But hopefully, and I know you don't want to be behind. And this is the Gator fan in me hoping a bit, but hoping you go through spring practice and didn't see where everything stands. But I get why these guys want to go ahead and get out there and go take part in spring practice somewhere else. But look, this won't be the end of the transfers. There'll probably be some more in the coming weeks, and some guys will see where they're at in the springtime as well. And if the staff they don't like being pushed hard by the staff, you may see some names hitting the transfer portal. If they hit spring and they're not getting as much playing time as they want to get, you'll probably see some names after that too. So this transfer portal definitely not done on Florida's end. And of course, I expect after spring practice, we'll start hearing some more names as well.
True.
Good morning.
I'm good. How about you?
I can't complain. I heard Noop said it, and I haven't listened to your podcast or anything, but
yeah, it was out late last night, man. So I had all day to catch back up on that one.
Yeah, but I was kind of concerned. Bill Sykes said this about 3 or 4 years ago before he stopped helping you with the podcast, and I'm a firm believer. The question was asked, and I know that you guys said that evaluation or whatever, and they don't listen to these recruiting sites or whatever, but that was really concerning to me as well, as far as you going up against the Nick Sabans and the Kirby Smarts of the world.
But what I will say about that, you can go back and listen to their press conferences. They're never going to sit there and say 4 stars and 5 stars either. They're going to say they get the best players. They're going to say they evaluate. They get the best players for their team. No coach goes out here in the midst and talks about 4 stars and 5 stars. They don't talk about the star system like we do. That's our barometer for how we measure. But that's not. Coaches aren't going to talk about the star system.
I agree with that, Dave. But you could have said it a little bit better, different though. Like you could have said something. I guess he was caught on the spot or whatever, but you could have said a little bit better, because last time I checked on the schedule, next year we play Georgia, and the year after we play Georgia, and the year after that we play Georgia. So
that wasn't his only recruiting comment. He talked about recruiting a bit and making sure they get the best players in the state of Florida. Pretty much saying it's going to start there.
Yeah.
we know you translate that speaks for itself. You get the state of Florida's best talent. That means 4 stars, 5-star talent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Bill Sykes say, it's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Henrys and Joes. And I'm just and like I say, I'm patient. It concerned me a little bit, but it didn't, because before he came, everybody was hyping on recruiting. He's a recruiter, and we know what we need as Gator fans, and we know what we need at the University of Florida. We need recruiting. So I can understand he taking his time. He said he's going to take his time. We might not get the best class in the early signing period. I understand that. We got the transfer portal. I hope he hit the transfer portal hard and fill some holes in the offensive line, defensive line. I really don't. I hope he don't keep none of the staff, because they haven't showed anything, especially Christian Robinson. When you don't have a real middle linebacker, you don't have depth at middle linebacker. And the excuse that Todd Grantham was holding him back, I disagree with that. Because if you recruiting linebackers, you go tell Todd, hey, I need a real middle linebacker like David Reese. I need a real middle linebacker like Brandon Spikes, instead of having all these hybrids or having these small guys at middle linebacker. So I disagree with him if he do keep. And then my other question, Dave, is McGee they say he not going to retain McGee this morning, all on Twitter. Why is that the one coming out?
Why is what? I'm sorry?
McGee. They say he's not going to keep McGee, but that's all on Twitter last night or this morning. Why is that the only staff that he's not going to keep coming out?
Now, if I understand you the right way, one reason that was been noticed is because his Twitter profile has been changed to say former coach for Florida. So that one is out there, as you know, people have picked up on that. But from everything I know, don't expect anybody on the offense to be retained. And then we'll get more about the defensive guys today. But connecting the dots, you can see on his profile itself, it says former quarterback coach for Florida.
Okay, that's the reason why. That's what I had asked. Why is he the only one that has been announced? Because it's all over Twitter this morning that he's not being.
People picked up on that one pretty quick. So that's probably about the easiest way to tell right now is to keep checking these guys' social media profiles, and if they update it. Now some guys don't update it, but that is one telling sign.
Okay, and I would like to say you are doing a great job. If you don't get your flowers, man, I'd like to give you your flowers, man. You job with the coverage. You're doing a great job. I know you was in Gainesville yesterday.
Yeah. Got there about 3:00 yesterday. So.
Yeah, you doing Gators Breakdown. I saw you on YouTube on the news talking about the Gators. You 7:00 in the morning waking up. You doing all the coverage and everything. And we really do appreciate you, man. You're doing a great job. I don't know if you have an assistant or you have a staff, or you're doing it by yourself. I think you're doing it by yourself, and I'd like to give you your flowers now and say you did a great job, and keep up the great work.
Thanks, man. Yeah, mostly by myself, except for the guest I have on. So and Will every Monday. So it's
Bill,
but hey,
because he put that out a couple of years ago. I don't know if you remember, but when I heard about him and he broke down them stars and stuff, ever since then it's been true, man. You need them 4 or 5 stars, regardless what these coaches say. We need to get these guys. We need to get up in that top 5 recruiting class. We need to compete with these guys because we got to make the playoff, man. I think we make the playoff, that'll get us back into this fold of these kids knowing who the Florida Gators are.
I hear you, man. All right, yeah, that's Napier said that yesterday. This is a team that needs to be feared. That hasn't happened in quite some time. Maybe we're well on our way for that. So, all right, man, thank you much. Stone Cold, if you can unmute your mic now, if you're ready now. I know you were trying to get in just for a second, but or not. So,
hello.
Hey, man.
Hey, what's going on? I just wanted to add on to that 4 stars and 5 stars. I feel like, we're in a lot of, top 3, top 5s, but I feel like the whole staff, wasn't there to, close on those athletes like that.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel, a sense of, excitement with the new staff and whatnot. I feel like we'll be in a lot. more of those battles in the future and actually getting those athletes. And thank you, Dave, for all you do, for Gator Nation and whatnot.
Thanks, man. Yeah, exciting times coming up, and hopefully a lot more exciting times. Look, I know everybody with the recruiting and get caught on pretty good with that last staff and stuff. But everybody's sending me the photos that they want for the next "we got to commit" announcement when we get committed. That was a whole lot of fun yesterday. Everybody going back and forth and trying to choose the photo that Billy Napier that will be posted when Florida gets commit. So a lot of good fun had in that, and everybody was kind of looking out for that yesterday. So fun times, and hopefully more fun times ahead. Hopefully we get to use those images a whole lot more coming up for some of these big time athletes, especially in the state of Florida. But fun. I think everybody's excited for the direction, and we'll see where it goes. He did mention. If you listen to the presser, have some patience with this first one. He's not going to completely dive in on early signing day, and rightfully so. You don't want to waste those spots. You don't want to waste those scholarships just to fill holes, just to fill that scholarship. He's going to take his time, and he has a lot to learn about these players that he can get now that he's not recruiting these same type of players at Louisiana. So there's a lot of evaluation to go, a lot of getting to know these targets and players, and even current commits and former commits that Florida has and will be going after in the next few weeks.
That's awesome. One more thing. I was watching, their conference championship game, and I'm really excited about those pistol formations. They're something different.
Yeah, he mentioned that yesterday of like how his approach is going to be on offense. He is going to call the plays. I know that was something else that was a big to do yesterday. I thought it was pretty well known that he was going to call the plays, but I guess it wasn't. It caught some people by surprise. I didn't know if they expected him to change if they did know that he was the play caller at Louisiana. But look, it doesn't bother me. That he's going to be calling plays here at Florida. It is going to be a probably run, at least I think with what Florida has, a run first approach. I think he'll adapt to the talent. He's coached pass first at Arizona State. Now, when he got his talent at Louisiana, saw it best to run that tough physical style brand of football, a lot of pistol, and some quarterback run as well. We saw that in the conference championship game the other day with a big run by Levi Lewis there. So, but you got to, adapt to your talent. We'll see his ability to do that. I think you look at AR, and I think a lot of people were looking at Levi Lewis the other night. They're his quarterback from Louisiana, and just imagining AR doing a lot of those same type of things in that same system. Those running backs Florida has as well next year, and kind of translating it to that. But look at the other quarterbacks on the roster, and there's going to have to be some adaptation and changing an approach on offense. Doesn't mean it can't be run first. I mean, I saw it yesterday. I think his whole time at Louisiana, it was about a 60-40 run. So that's not that's not terrible at all. It's shifting one way or the other. I know everybody wants to, and the trend in college football is throw it 40 times a game. But, we'll see when he gets in here. It won't be the same exact offense, I don't think, his whole time at Florida. And he'll have to have the ability to adapt to what he has.
Yeah, those pistol formations are going to be nice. And I like that one play that he called when he had his tight end out wide and brought him in motion. I believe that's when they broke that long run, their running back.
Yeah.
That was a nice, play, to be honest.
Yeah, there's some...
And with our tight end, room.
Yeah.
I feel like, that'll give them opportunities, to get the ball more, just more weapons on the field. And I was hearing, too, I don't know if it was your podcast or another podcast, how he, likes to use, the 52 yards of the whole field wide.
Yeah, it's
to get
the basis of his offense is spread you out in run power.
Oh, that's awesome. That fits AR, I believe, very well.
Yep.
His skill set.
As long as he can stay healthy.
I'm just excited, man. I'm ready for the spring game, man.
yeah. Same here. Ready for some on-field action there from Napier. So, all right, man. Thank you, Stone Cold.
Hey, Dave, I got a quick question. Sorry to interrupt. Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Did he mention anything, or did you guys ask? I know I watched the whole press conference. Did you guys ask anything about AR, anything yesterday, or did he mention anything or talk about AR yesterday?
No, he didn't. Pressure went a little shorter than I thought, and I know it was pretty long, but it went a little shorter. Now he got off to the side a little bit right after the initial press conference and kind of had the media scrum around him where a lot of people would circle around him. So I didn't get too close to that. I asked everything I wanted to ask, and I had some other stuff to do for the TV station. So I didn't get that part. I don't think he was asked about any particular player that Florida currently has there. So no, not really. I was going to ask. I had asked a couple of questions there. I was going to ask about quarterbacks, but like I said, it was a pretty limited media session, so they were just trying to power through as many people as they could.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Sorry about interrupting you.
All good. Levi, I think you're in here now.
Hey, Dave, how's it going?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm doing good here, man. Hey, you might have touched on this earlier, but I seen some stuff come out last night about possibly AR having surgery. If you touched on it, I'm sorry, but could you fill me in?
Last week I was told expect Emory to start in the bowl game, but could not be told the reason why at the time. It was not hard to put 2 and 2 together for me at that point, knowing everything AR had been through this year. And then I think it was Eddie kind of confirmed that yesterday. Eddie Rojas from the Gator Collective confirmed what he was hearing as well about meniscus surgery there for AR to get that cleaned up, get it out there as soon as possible, and hopefully be ready for spring football. And that's the reason if you're going to skip the bowl game right now, pretty much meaningless bowl game versus UCF coming up, that go ahead, do everything you can do to get ready for spring football, and so that hopefully he can go out there, and if he has the surgery, get the surgery, have enough time to heal, and be on the field when the Gators hit the spring practice coming up. So that is out there. Yeah, it is. Like I said, I heard last week about Emory starting. And then the same person who told me that said, "Okay, I guess you've heard why now." So,
Gotcha.
started. It wasn't hard to put together, knowing everything AR had been through, and the knee that was still giving him an issue. But they just want to get that cleaned up, make sure that he's on the right track for next year.
Sure. Well, I mean that sounds good to me. As a fan, like you said, this bowl game's pointless. Get him cleaned up, get him ready to go, get that knee back stronger than it's ever been. And I wanted to just real quick, and I'll bow out. Chris Bogle, I heard Napier saying that he wanted to sit down with him. I feel like that guy's got all the potential in the world. He just needs somebody to, I feel like maybe this staff could be what he needs to turn him into a first-round draft pick, because he's got the potential. Everybody in the country wanted that kid when he come out of high school.
Yeah, I did speak on that a little bit earlier. So I know it's a clean start for everybody, and hopefully his name is in the transfer portal. Doesn't mean he has to go anywhere, and hopefully they'll have this conversation, and he'll stick around Gainesville.
Gotcha. Thanks, Dave, man. I appreciate everything you do.
Thanks, man. Bull Gator, you in here, man? You're in here, but I have to unmute your mic if you're trying.
There we go. How are you?
Hey, man. I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Now, listen, before you get on those people who said they should have known better when he said about 4 or 5 stars, I was one of those people who said, uh-oh, when he said.
No, don't get me wrong. I said uh-oh because I knew how people were going to take it. But it was like I knew it was not that big of a deal.
It reminded me
Bulgaria, you got muted there again. I don't know what happened. All right. Hop back in if you there you are.
I'm sorry.
Oh, good.
It's this darn iPhone, so sensitive. No, it's just like when Dan Mullen got vilified for saying almost the same thing about a year and a half ago. Basically, we don't pay attention to the rating services. We have our own way of evaluating talent, which was, he was jumped on for that, saying nonsense. You go after the same players that
Right, and that's what a lot of people.
Nick Saban does.
That's exactly what a lot of people. Yeah, that's exactly what a lot of people were connecting it to. So that's why it rubs the people the wrong way. But as you said, you're going after the same people. We know who you're recruiting. We know who you're visiting. We know who comes on campus and visits. We know who you're taking pictures with. So don't. It's there's top players out there.
Right. And I want to be also one of those people, Dave, to thank you. I don't know if you ever get any sleep, but you are on top of this. And every time, there's never a dull moment. And for everybody else who's saying thank you, remember, you can sign up to what's your service called, Dave?
Gators Breakdown Plus. $3
Gators
a month.
Breakdown Plus.
Yeah.
There you go. Lowest $3 a month, and folks, it is worth it. The Discord chat we had last night, just talking about everything, was, that alone, that's fantastic. Being able to talk to really knowledgeable, thoughtful guys. A lot of it's opinion. We rely on Dave for our facts, but it's a good chat.
Some
anyway,
some
Dave,
of
just want to say thank you.
Some of his opinion from me too. So.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, thanks, Bull Gator. Yeah, a lot of fun there on Gators Breakdown Plus that we have there, and I was excited to see that chat go. I couldn't jump in last night because I was trying to finish everything up and get an episode out for the Gators Breakdown masses there. But Gators Breakdown Plus is taking a life of its own, so I can't thank everybody involved there. And then many of you are in here listening at the same time. So back at you for a big thank you there. All right, who else we got in here? Let's see. I'll let a couple more of you in here. Unsubbed. So the ones who come in here now, I don't hear you. I don't know if there's an issue with the Twitter space itself.
Hey, what's up, Dave? What's up, everybody?
Hey,
yeah, so I drove up from Kissimmee out to Gainesville, welcome coaching and everything, and a nice little scene out there.
Yeah, you enjoyed that? I had a friend there too. I was trying to make it there that early, but man, I had a lot to do. So being there from 11 o'clock all the way till 8 o'clock at night would not have been.
Oh yeah, man. I woke up at like 8:30 and seen the message and literally told my wife like, "Hey, let's throw some clothes on," and we shot up to Gainesville and welcomed the coach in, and it was good, man. The press conference was great. Said a lot of great things. I like how he went into, everyone has a role here, even the fan base and everything. And, it starts with positivity. And so I think that was great for everyone. Like, it's a tough year, but yeah, I just wanted to hop in, share some excitement. Looking forward to things ahead. He's saying all the right things. Thought the presser would be a little more. I thought he would give us some words on the stairs when he showed up, but either way, it was a cool scene, cool time for Gator Nation, and we're excited for sure.
Yeah. All right. Tell that baby hello.
Yeah, he just woke up being a little.
He wants to talk too. I think he might be a little excited.
Everyone's excited in this house, man. Go Gators.
All right, go Gators, man. I hear you. That was. I had some friends there that were taking part in the meet and greet. Shaking hands with Billy Napier coming up, and going into the football complex. Get ready for his tour of the swamp and tour of the campus there. So it was pretty good. A few hundred people there to say hello to him and his family. So that was cool to see. I'm glad Florida sent that out and let it be known. Hey, come say hello to the fans, and fans come say hello to your new coach. That was pretty cool to see there. So credit to Florida too and their coverage of all that yesterday of Napier in Louisiana flying all the way over and all the pictures of the landing and coming through and the airport and campus and everything there. So they kept us all up to date. We got to kind of follow along all day there with Billy Napier's process of leaving Louisiana and coming to Gainesville.
Hey, Dave. Hey, it's Dustin. So I just wanted to ask you a couple questions about the staff structure. It was really great to see some of the content you put out about how the contract was structured, and I know it was mentioned that they're going to put together $7.5 million for the assistants, and then another $5 million for the support staff, and I guess that'd be the filling out the entire football offices. So what I wanted to ask you about is I know that a wrench was kind of not necessarily a bad wrench, but a wrench was kind of thrown into the mix when he mentioned that not only would he call plays, but he would in essence be the quarterback coach.
Mm-hmm.
And then an analyst would come on, also help him coach quarterbacks. There'd be 2 offensive line coaches. And that kind of sparked a rabbit trail of research. So I looked at the structure that they have at Louisiana, or he had at Louisiana, and it's very similar to that. He had 2 offensive line coaches. Now his staff was it wasn't 10. There was 13 guys, including 14, including the head coach, that were highlighted. So you have the 10 main assistant coaches. Then you have a special teams coordinator, who I believe was an analyst for Napier. And then, of course, you have the strength and conditioning coordinator, which was also called the assistant head coach. And then, of course, the director of football operations. I just wanted to ask you, based on what you know, do you have any idea how this staff is going to be structured? And who would Napier consider to be that quote-unquote 10 on-field assistants versus who would be analysts? Because if you're bringing an analyst onto the field during practices to coach, doesn't that kind of blur the lines a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to put it together. I haven't heard if he's going to put it together the exact same way at Louisiana. I'm going to assume he is. That's just an assumption as far as that goes. I thought it was pretty interesting with the 2 offensive line coaches, and I think for his style of play that he wants to bring to Florida, I like that move. You have your interior and your exterior offensive line as far as that goes. I don't know. I mean, he's going to, from everything I know, he's going to still bring the same strength and conditioning coordinator from Louisiana, so that role may be exactly the same as it was for Louisiana here at Florida as well, and then having the analyst with him. That's of course more for practicing and game planning throughout the week, and of course he'll be the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator on game day on the sideline. You got to have 10. You can have the 10 on field full time assistants as far as that goes, and most of that's broken up by position group. So we'll see where that goes. I'll say just look at Louisiana and probably pretty much a blueprint from there of how he's going to break out a staff. And as far as names and who you're going to shift from analyst to full time, got to see who he hires first. And also, if the coordinators on defense are going to be co-coordinators, because then you start getting your guys in position as well. Instead of being just a defensive coordinator, you're co-defensive coordinator and safeties coach, or co-defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. So you'll share the duties there if you're the co-defensive coordinators, because you're putting those guys on the field, and you've got to have those titles for them for position coaches as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to tag along to that. In your mind, what is the difference between an on-field assistant and an analyst?
Well, there's more on the field coaching than a lot of your analysts are behind the scenes looking at the film, getting ready for the next opponent. A lot of your analysts have that look forward approach of getting ready, making sure when the coaches hit the field for game plans, here's what this opponent likes to do, and then your on field assistants take it from there. But your analysts are. Those are the guys doing a whole lot of research in the leading up to the season, as far as your opponents go, and during the week as well, seeing everything that's changed from all their research that they did preseason and what teams like to do. There's those analysts there, and that's why you've seen a lot of coaches, they'll hire analysts for the opposite side of the ball. They'll hire an offensive analyst to look at the defense. They'll hire a defensive coach to look at other defenses and just study the other side of the ball and how they would attack. And it's just there's a whole lot of that's changing. Everybody's trying to go for that Bama blueprint and put so many people and all the research and everything it takes to go build that program. As many bodies as you can get to throw at every possible situation. And that's what a lot of analysts are for, is to make sure every nook and cranny is covered.
So only those 10 coaches can coach on the sidelines during the game. Is that what that kind of means?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
So,
thank you for that.
Somebody, oh man, his name escapes me right now. Paul Pasqualoni. That's what he was. He was an analyst, and then since they had some firings, they were able to move him from the offices onto the sideline. This past off season, or this past season when Grantham was let go, Christian Robinson was promoted from linebacker coach to defensive coordinator, and that allowed Pasqualoni to become one of those on-field coaches.
Now, the funny thing is, you think about Will Muschamp at Georgia. He's an analyst. Is he just on the sideline purely because he has that access to watch the game?
No,
and he just can't coach?
That changed because of what happened with Scott Cochran before the season. Will Muschamp was never supposed to be on the sideline, but when Cochran had his what he was dealing with before the season, that opened up a spot on the field.
Okay, great.
All right. Anything else, man?
Should be it. Well, as always, go Gators.
Go Gators. Thanks, man. All right. Steady, you in here, man?
Yes, sir. How's it going, David?
I'm doing good, man. Just needing some extra coffee this morning.
Yes, sir. You and me both. I just got espresso inside my McDonald's coffee. Man, I feel real good today. I watched the press conference yesterday. I watched a little bit of your follow-up before I had to go to work. So I feel good. Biggest takeaways that I got from that is he is a Christian man. He's big on loyalty.
Yep.
He's bigger on relationships that he build with people. And he the impact that he want to cause on a young man's life. And I think that it's all X and O's. I think those are some things that we really, really should value, man, because I can see if, it was up and down with his players who previously played for him. But at least from people that's expressing themselves, it's not. I mean, it's obviously been said it's going to be his way or the highway, but I don't think that's a bad thing. And everybody who played for him or who plays for him, who played for him currently, got the same exact respect for him. The whole community of Louisiana love him. He's a very likable guy. And then you have when people like to say the GOAT. These days, there'll be another trend in about 5 years. But you got the GOAT of football, Nick Saban, who gave him a recommendation like no other. He didn't say things like that. He said similar things about Kirby, said similar things about Lane, but he gave him a great recommendation for the press. I'll start right there for right now. What do you think about that?
Yeah, from everything I know, and everybody heard Kevin Hagan on last week, and and Josh from Rage and Review podcast about all those things you've kind of hit on right there. But I had extended conversations with Kevin, kind of behind the scenes, and I mean, he's told me that Nick Saban loves Billy Napier, and there's just a great relationship there. He says there's no way that Billy Napier took this Florida job without talking to Nick Saban. There's no way that happened. Like, he sure a deep down conversation between the two happened, and making sure Nick Saban wanted to make sure Billy Napier was always going to take the right job as well. We always heard about him turning down South Carolina and him turning down Auburn, and a lot of that comes that recommendation from Nick Saban. And Nick Saban wants to see this guy succeed. There's a relationship between those guys, and hopefully we see some head-to-head matchups in the coming up years between these two. But there's a lot of respect there for for those two. It's from everything I've been told, that relationship is really, really strong. And as far as going to your point, yeah, you first of all, you got to have players that want to play for you. We can talk about stars, and we do a lot, and that's priority number one. You've got to get those type of players, but when you get those type of players, you've also got to sell them to play for you. You got to sell them to go out there and do the right things, to be on the field week in and week out. They got to play for you. They got to have a belief system and a trust system in you to go out there to put them in the right position to go play. So we can talk about stars all we want to, and we talk about it a lot, but that has to translate as well into trust and ultimately what those guys put out on the field. So it needs to go both ways, talent and finding the right talent to put out there.
All right, beautiful. One more thing, Dave. I can go all day, but one more thing, for a few more things, but I'm gonna leave it after this. ETN, Trevor Etienne, he switched his top three and threw Florida into his top three. Once Napier got the job, Napier been recruiting him for a while.
I think that was probably going to be the case anyway. As long as Florida was playing good. Now I don't know what the case would have been before the move, as you said. With Napier comes and he's in the top three. I don't know if Florida's bad season soured him too much. But I know there was some conversation even before the season that Florida was going to be pretty deep in this recruitment.
Okay, sweet. So that can probably just help us a lot more. I'm not big on the Evans guy, especially after this press conference. I'm not big on any big time receivers really coming to play for us, because I feel like once the question got asked and his answer kind of left it out there for, unless somebody want to go and look at Raging Cajuns, I feel like they passed a lot in that game. I feel like his quarterback played great. I feel like if I was AR-15 inside of a Gator uniform making those passes, then right now we'll be talking about some Heisman hype. If our season went the same as theirs, and AR-15 was throwing them bums down the field. But when you look at him, man, everything that he says, I looked at his presser. I'm not sure if you looked at his press conference from Louisiana. Did you?
Which one?
When he got introduced as the head coach.
Oh no, I haven't went back and looked at that. I think I peeked at it when his name was coming up, but I didn't go too deep into it.
I encourage you to go look at it, Dave. He literally read the same exact script, and this is not a bad thing. This is not a bad thing. But he literally read the same exact script until he picked his head up and then started answering questions. He read the same exact script that he said in Louisiana. The same exact way, same exact platform, identical. About his dad and everything. But his mom was an educator, word everything. So this is my thing. This guy has a platform that he uses. And I'm about to let you go. I know a lot of listeners want to talk, but this guy has a platform, right? That he uses, that he's seen happen. He's seen it work. I don't expect for him to come in and get the flashy players unless they're coming from somewhere that he already recruited recently, or high school coaches that's giving them the nudge because they know about him. But I do expect for him to hit the transfer portal hard, and I do expect for us. I understand it's a lot to ask. As Gators fans, we feel like this always, but me taking into consideration the X's and O's of the game and the players that we do have, because this year before we really went downhill, we thought it was championship or bust, honestly. Although for some reason we had this first-year quarterback, but hey, Bryce Young went in his first year starting, and look what he's doing. So I'm tired of the excuses, but I feel like next year we really should be successful, going into the right direction. He just did this with basically non-ranked running backs, and now he got 2 5-star running backs. We're not supposed to get caught in stars, but men lie, women lie, numbers don't, and the stars is the ones that's in the NFL later on in the future.
Yep. I think we'll have some patience to go along with that, but I think this first year, cleaning up just the all the issues we saw from this past year, as far as penalties and turnovers and a lack of focus. You get those things fixed just in year one. That'll go a long way into what Florida can bring onto the field. But I think this plan that he wants to put in place, it's not an instant fix. It's not a flash in the pan. It's building for sustained success, and that can come fast. I'm not saying it can't. I'm just saying I wouldn't necessarily expect it to. But he comes out here and he's got a lot of talent that he's never had at his disposal before, especially at Louisiana. Maybe he untaps that potential just a bit more. But also, what he's building here is for sustained success. And there's not going to be this big flash, go fill up 25 spots probably in this early signing day and coming up in the next few weeks and month going into February signing day. But I think there's a lot to be excited for when you just want to see the foundation he wants to lay for this being sustained success and not just a flash in the pan.
Thank you, Dave. You're great. I wake up every morning, man, and go and see what Breakdown has. And then before I go to sleep at night, I go and see if you put something else up there. Sometimes you put spontaneous things. Keep going, man. You're great for Florida Nation, for Gator Nation. I hope one day they put you on ESPN and you can get the recognition.
Thanks, man. All right, let's see. Jeremy. What's up, Jeremy? You there?
Hey, good morning, Dave.
Hey, man. How are you?
Great. Hey, I just want to piggyback off what the guy said about Coach McGee, why he was let go so early, or why it was made public so early. Coach Napier made it known yesterday that he would coach the quarterbacks, and I think that's why that was gone public. I want to know what coaches are coming, man. I hope all these Louisiana Lafayette coaches are not coordinators and position coaches. Some of them should be maybe analysts or off the field coaches or whatever. I hope he don't bring his whole staff, man. One or two is fine. I really hope Coach Robinson is back. I know I just talked to Shamir James maybe an hour ago, and he is really wanting to come only if Coach Robinson is retained. I know Jaron Willis is coming if Coach Robinson is retained. If they're not retained, I don't see neither one of them coming, and I really think they're a big need right now. Linebackers are a huge need for us right now. But I think that'd be the only coach retained. Do you know anybody that's coming? I mean, I ain't heard Doug Belt's name mentioned in the last few days.
No, I honestly, I don't know anybody for sure coming out. All the names that are out there that I'm hearing, the names you guys are hearing as well. I don't know any more about Doug Belk, if he's coming, and Kitchens in the NFL, if he's coming along, or Rob Sell at offensive line. Those are guys that are in the NFL. We may have to wait. It's like now, I will say, if there are, according to how he fills out the staff and how fast he fills out the staff, if there's a couple openings and we're a few weeks down the road, 2-3 weeks down the road, and there's still some openings, then you can best bet it's because he's talking to guys in the NFL to fill those roles. And maybe some playoff teams as well. I mean, I don't know necessarily who you're going to go get on those playoff teams, but maybe there's some lower level Alabama assistants that could come over as well. But I do think it's probably more of an indication that he's going to be talking to some NFL guys. If he announces some staff members soon, but there's still some open slots, it's more than likely he's waiting for the NFL season to get over with.
Hey, I got one more question. I'm gonna let you go. I got to go to work. The coach that was fired from the Panthers yesterday, I can't think of his name. It's early in the morning, but
Joe Brady.
Yes, sir. Do you think he'll get a call?
He might get a call, but with Napier already saying that he's going to be the play caller and the quarterback coach, then there's no place for him, honestly.
Good. I don't want him anyway. Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks. That's a hot topic there, Joe Brady, and of course what he did 2019 LSU. But I've been told, and I know it's out there, my LSU contacts and a couple of people I know there, they admitted. I reached out a couple of weeks ago just about all the rumors of him not liking the college game and him not liking recruiting. That is true. They'll speak to it as well, that he does not like that. They never thought he was going to be this long-time assistant at LSU, and partly because of that. He wants to be in the NFL. Now, he's gonna get college offers. Don't get me wrong. And he's from the South Florida area, so Miami, and whatever their coaching change situation happens, I don't think he'll be considered for a head coach or anything at Miami, but maybe for an assistant coach if there's a change there. When Mario Cristobal coming in, and I'm sure we'll find out this Monday what happens down in Miami a bit. But Joe Brady's name, of course, he'll get offers in college, I think. But I think for what Billy Napier wants to build, and how he's going to approach the offense, there's not really a spot for a Joe Brady style of coach here at the University of Florida. So, but we'll see. Miami, Oregon, Oklahoma, I think are the schools you probably look out for there for Joe Brady if he does get back into the college game. But that's just somebody I think you'll be looking at, always looking to get back into the NFL when he can. And a bit surprised the Panthers already moved on from him. We'll see if I think we know how the NFL is in the retread style of coaches that go on in the NFL. So I'm sure he'll probably be looking for another NFL job first. But of course, with his success at LSU in that 1 year in 2019, he's going to get college offers. Will he decide to go and take a college offer? And then you would always have to worry about the recruiting under him. So maybe if you surround him with a bunch of high-level staffers that go recruit for him, then maybe that could work out. But I have a hard time knowing what I know and what I've been told about him of not really wanting to be in college and not necessarily taking the recruiting side of it as serious as it needs to be, then how long can that last? Is it, was he the perfect coach at the perfect time for LSU, that flash in the pan style? Looks like it. Would that have been sustained for over a period of time? Who knows? That's just a guess there. But knowing what we know and knowing what we've been told, I would not expect Joe Brady to be in college, and if he is, not in college for a long time. All right, we didn't really talk on it too much because there's not really a whole lot of excitement in it, but the bowl game there between Florida and UCF, I know, December 23rd, 7:30, Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa. Not a whole lot of excitement there for that one, especially now with the news of AR and his possible surgery and not seeing him play, but the right move there, get him cleaned up for this new coaching staff and be hopefully hit spring running, but not a whole lot of excitement. I know a lot of people are kind of declaring that a lose-lose situation for Florida with a lame duck staff head coaching that game, and not really a good bowl game either, and not really a good UCF team. So it's kind of a lose-lose for Florida. You win. Well, you're Florida. You're supposed to. Even with this staff, all that talent all the more talent that you have than UCF, that's the game you should win. Or you go lose that game, and everybody will pile on for you. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it means absolutely nothing. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, Dave, I got one more question. It's off topic a little bit, but can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead. There's two Jeremys in here, so that's where the confusion is. But go ahead.
I'm sorry, the other Jeremy. Hey, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, do you know when renovations are going to start?
Oh man, is it toward the end of next year? After next season, I think, is when they're going to probably start that. Don't quote me on that. It's 22, 23, I think, are the years. But I'm not – I forget. It's definitely within the next season or two. And it might be right after next season when they start that. But don't quote me on that. I do forget the dates on that. All right. Other Jeremy, I see you're supposed to be speaker, but I don't hear anything. So I have to go back out and come back in. I'm not really sure.
Hey, David.
Oh, there you are. Gotcha.
Hey, you probably already said this, but is Coach Nate, is he going to coach the bowl game?
No. New coaches don't really come in. There's no time to install. There's no time to, all the terminology that goes into your offense and all that stuff. These players don't know this system, all the terminology, all the installation process that goes into that. That's way too much to try and squeeze into a little 2-week period there. So no, that doesn't really happen. These current coaches are still under contract to coach this bowl game. They get a nice bowl game bonus in their contract, so that's why that's their incentive to stay around. But now new coaches don't come in and coach bowl games.
Well, it sounds good. I appreciate everything you do. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, man. All right, there we go. That will do it here for this Twitter Spaces. Everybody, thank you so much for hopping in here. Exciting time for Gator Nation, of course, and much more coverage on the press conference on Gators Breakdown, recorded late last night. So a lot of you probably hadn't got the chance to listen to it yet if you've been on here on the Twitter Spaces. So go check that out if you want to. Will Miles and I will be back on Gators Breakdown tonight. So Will and I together for the day after Billy Napier's opening press conference. I know you can get some of his thoughts over there at Read and Reaction YouTube channel. So you can get some of Will's thoughts there. But we'll get into the presser a little bit more, the bowl game, college football playoff. I haven't really talked about that a whole lot either, but we're all excited for what's going on in Gainesville and Gator Nation right now. But we know the college football playoff, we can laugh at Georgia a little bit more for that performance last Saturday night, and hopefully get to laugh at them some more coming up in this 14 playoff. Hopefully we keep those. Doesn't really matter. We can. They're beating us on the field, but we can keep those 1980 jokes around for a little bit longer, hopefully. Have some good fun there. So a lot to get into in the world of college football and, of course, in Gator Nation. Everybody, thank you so much for checking out this Twitter Spaces. Hop on Gators Breakdown. If you don't mind, give us a listen there, and we'll see you on that side of it later on this week.